On story time today, I'm actually going to talk about the first time I met Hulk Hogan. Now, I know a lot of people probably won't be interested in this at all, but it is kind of a funny story. Now, we have to go back, so maybe the editor in the sky will do some TV magic and make it all over the screen. uh, but we go back to about 1998. And at that time, I was living in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I'd been going to this laser tag place for a couple months since I'd moved down there. And one day I believe it was a Saturday. It's either Saturday or Sunday, because I know it was on the weekend. I was in there and I really wasn't feeling up to doing much anything. I was kind of bored. Kind of like now. I'm kind of bored sitting here and just chilling out. And I was actually thinking about just leaving there and just heading back to the apartment for the day. And I backed up and, for lack of a better term, almost walked right over Hulk Hogan himself. Now, you have to realize that I'm roughly 6'4", 6'5", depending, if I have a neck. I don't have much of one. I mean, this is a collared shirt and it's pretty tight around my head. But I turned around, of course, because normally when I bump into people, I tend to make sure I apologize right away because, hey, I'm a big guy. I realize that. And here's a guy that's just a hair shorter than I am, at least at that time. Now, I don't know if because of his neck and hip injuries, if he's gotten back into his normal height, but I think I was about a couple inches taller than him, give or take. But his arms, my lord, his arms were huge. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking back to being a child again, of growing up in the 80s and seeing him on TV and everything, and just like, hey, this is someone that I actually grew up loving and enjoying. Not so much the movie aspect of it, but, to each their own. And it's like, I didn't know exactly what to say. The only thing he did ask, though, is that anybody who was in this laser tag place was he wasn't doing autographs. And at first I kind of questioned. I'm like, well, that's kind of rude. And then he said, no. It's because I'm here for my kid. It's his birthday. And I'd rather spend the day with my family. But you guys are more than welcome to join us. So I got to spend the entire afternoon with him and his family. Up until they did the birthday celebration and whatnot. I felt kind of odd being in that position there because, it's not my family. I don't really know them that well. I mean, even now, I wouldn't know his family all that well. But it was just, it's one of them weird experiences where it's like, yeah, okay, you spent the day with someone famous, but at the same time, it's someone who I grew up really respecting and, love him or hate him, however you feel. He was a good entertainer. I mean, he entertained people for a long time, and in some regards, he's still entertaining people. Honestly, if I could meet him again today, I'd probably still be about have that same little kid mentality of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Except a lot more excitement because I don't want to scream into the microphone. But it was just kind of funny because, when we were playing laser tag, he'd be, oh yeah, brother, we're going to kick your butt. Nah. I mean, he wasn't swearing or nothing. He was being very polite. He was hanging out with all the kids that were there, including his own son, even kids that weren't part of the party. He was hanging out with them just to let them enjoy the afternoon. And it's that kind of thing that I always thought kind of stuck to me. It's like, you don't need to get an autograph. You don't need to go and bother people like that when they're with their family. But at the same time, if you just hang out and enjoy being around them, that'll be a lot better for you. And it'll be a lot better for them. Oh, I'm trying to remember what else. I swear I spent probably a good 4 to 5 hours at that place. A lot longer than I was intending to spend there. Because like I said, honestly, I was ready to head home. I, I believe I'd worked the night before because I'd worked third shift. So I was literally up almost an entire day. And it's like, this is fun and all, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be real tired. But on the same regard as now I have a story I can share with people and say, hey, I got to do this. Yeah, it's not an incredibly interesting story at all, but it's just one of them things where you don't ever think you're going to be able to do something like that. And when you do, you can look back on it with fondness and good memories. I'm sorry, I'm moving my microphone. And just say, hey, I got to do this really fun thing with someone that I grew up idolizing. Well, I don't want to say idolizing, but someone who entertained me as a child. I got to spend time with them. And even now, like I said, if this happens to reach him and you happen to come to Michigan, I would greatly like to meet you again because, hey, I mean, that's who I am. I grew up watching wrestling, and yes, I know, wrestling's fake. I know that. I'm not naive to that. It was just good, cheap, I hate to use the word dumb, but dumb entertainment. It's like going to a dumb action movie and just sitting there and enjoying it just because it's there. And people seem to have a stereotypical of what people want it to be. But in the comments below, let me know if you've ever had an incident like this. Maybe you were at a diner or something and, I don't know, you met Chris Pratt or somebody. Someone that you grew up around. Well, I wouldn't say Chris Pratt, but someone you grew up watching on movies, maybe TV shows, something like that. And you got to meet him, and either you liked him more after meeting them, or maybe you liked them less. I mean, everybody meets somebody that they thought was really good and nice person, and then when they meet them in person, they're just like, you're rotten to the core. How can you be two different people? Let me know down in the comments below, and just share your story of who you've met, if you've met anybody famous. Until then, guys. Until the next one, have fun.